I am the law.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Underrated Podcast. This is a new podcast where we discuss the films that we feel are underrated, underappreciated, or have just slipped under the radar and passed most people by. The show is a collaboration of friends and podcasters comprised of Alan and Fred Torres.
What up, what up?
District 6.
Ariel Ortiz.
From Nerd Incorporated.
And
Hi.
myself, Derek McDuff. Today we're going to be talking about Dredd, a 2012 film directed by Pete Travis and written by Alex Garlan, based on the comic 2080 starring Carl Urban and Olivia Thirlby. Critically, the movie was more or less well received with a Rotten Tomato score of 78, but the film was a financial failure, not even making its budget back. So, what do you guys think of this movie?
Who's gonna go first?
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty okay movie, especially for like in the early, 2012. I feel like it's
Wait, what do you mean by 2012? That's the same year Avengers came out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not dealing with we're not
Batman and two only Batman movies at that point.
Yeah, but for like a character that's very not well, known except for the Sylvester Stallone movie from. Yeah. Whoa. All right, we got that out of the way. All right. It's coming.
All I was here for. All right, later, guys.
But yeah, it's kind of like in that sense, it was still unknown for a character, and I feel that's probably what dealt itself a blow.
No, but what I gotta ask, do you think those characters are greedy and lazy?
I think they're mentally irregular.
You Adrian.
Easy.
Forget about it.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was a really good movie to follow, and it knew where it was going, and it was kind of like an Escape from Chinatown kind of situation, and I like that. Or not Escape from Chinatown. No.
Big Trouble in Little China?
Trouble in Little Chinatown.
I was
That's
like,
it.
Escape from Chinatown.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's the sequel to Two Jakes. It's the third in the Chinatown trilogy.
I immediately just imagine Jack Nicholson trying to run away from that
I'm
wizard
back,
thing.
all right, and I gotta get out of Chinatown again.
But it was a really fun action movie.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good way to put it. Just it's a super fun, violent, great action movie. I don't know, Alan or Fred, what do you guys?
I agree. It was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of, what was that one?
Die Hard.
Was it like Chinese or Korean movie? Where they're in a
Oh, The Raid.
The Raid, kind of like that,
Yeah.
where they're in a building, they gotta escape down. Those movies are always fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just solid action.
it's just solid action. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you want a solid action movie, this is your jam. I mean, if you really wanted some kind of heartfelt meaning and stuff, don't look for this. This is action.
I might have something to say on that, but
Well, no, I mean it has something, but I'm saying if you're looking for The Notebook, this ain't your jam. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. If you're really trying to find some super big, no, you know what? This is it's got its points like any action movie. It's got some drama. It's got a little bit of suspense because oh man, the building. What are we gonna do? But then it's got all that damn action that you want, and that's what sells it. And in my opinion, obviously, we're in a different time now. People aren't as big into action movies like they were back in the day. Because this reminds me of the old action movies.
You know what it just reminded me of right now is The Warriors.
The Last Action Hero.
I fucking love
I'm
The
sorry.
Warriors.
The Warriors, where
The
they're
Last Action Hero
is amazing.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They're nothing alike,
Yeah,
but I
you're
like
close.
your answer.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
yeah, that's a good movie.
That's what I'm just saying. They're good movies. I'm not trying to bring any correlation other than it's a good
Yeah.
movie.
But
Just like Jingle All the Way, also a good movie.
I'm still waiting on Jingle All the Way too. Enough Terminator movies, more Jingle All the Way movies.
That's what I'm saying.
Judgment Day.
but yeah,
Jingle All the Way, Jingle This.
Yeah,
Like-
Jingle All the Way. Bring back Jake Lloyd. Bring back Tom Arnold as a CGI like they did with Grand Moff Tarkin.
why
bring back,
why
Sinbad.
CGI?
Sinbad.
I don't
he
understand.
died.
Because he
right?
died.
Tom Arnold
He
died?
died like 20 years ago.
No.
What?
I thought he was dead.
Like a while ago.
No, did he?
He died a long ass time. I was pretty young when he died. I was like a teenager.
I'm not gonna lie, I never cared for him, so I just
Did he
assumed
really?
But yeah, we got to bring him back. Grand Moff Tarkin stuff.
He's what?
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway.
sorry, no, wait. man's still alive.
That's what I told you.
I knew it because you guys said
that's
this
what I was-
yesterday when
No,
we were
yeah.
having because we were in the group
him,
chat.
so I assume
No,
he
because
died.
he just
Wait.
came out with like a Trump style.
He's
like,
very blue
expose.
jeans. You
Who's
can't
the guy who
kill
died
very
then?
blue jeans. He's a freaking.
Oh my god, are you thinking about what's his name?
Tom Hardy.
No, the
Oh.
guy who because they were around the same time in the 90s. You're thinking about what's his name? His wife was like on
Yes,
drugs.
yes.
And then Andy Dick told her, "Fuck it, get back on drugs." And then she killed. Oh, Phil Hartman.
Phil
Phil
Hartman.
Hartman.
That's him.
Yeah.
Phil
That's
Hartman,
something.
yeah.
No.
Those motherfuckers look alike.
They do. I'll give you that.
They
They kind
did.
of do look alike.
Is that really
Well,
what
not
we
anymore
got?
because one of them's been dead for 20 years.
Okay. I said
one-
they did.
So
I
one's
know.
way slimmer.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Phil Hartman's wife was like super like drug addict, and then.
Yeah, we don't.
Uh,
We don't.
But anyways,
don't
I think
sad.
she might have
Phil
taken that
Hartman's
same
widow.
drug called slow-mo.
Oh,
Maybe that's
Oh.
what
back
it
around.
was. But anyways,
Cersei
Um,
Lannister's been slinging that slow-mo.
exactly that's who he was married to.
Xerxes?
No.
Xerxes, yes.
Xerxes Lannister.
Yeah, like after right before
Xerxes by Zack Snyder.
yeah, right before he killed Phil Hartman. He's like, I'm a generous god. He's like, yeah. But anyways, no. I liked the hell a lot of this movie. I really enjoyed it because I'm not gonna lie. Like right now, we're kind of going through like a superhero fatigue. Like I'm not gonna lie, we have a lot of superhero.
Oh, I'm sorry.
movies.
Wait, who's fatigued?
I am kind
Steven
of, but
Spielberg?
anyways, Steven Spielberg. But I mean, I'm
Who the
not.
fuck's that?
Some guy who doesn't like Netflix or superheroes or anything.
That's what
that's
I
popular
said.
Right now.
But wants
Yeah.
a Halo movie.
But he wants a Halo
Yeah, but he
movie,
wants
and he
it.
made a massive video game movie
Yeah.
with a ton of references. But
Even though video games aren't art according to him.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
but-
I love
okay.
Spielberg, but my man is disconnected from
Man's not
reality.
hot. Is what's the
He's-
problem?
Yeah.
it's not hot. No, but I think what I liked about it is that nowadays, like with superhero movies, are always the same thing. It's like we gotta get the origin in, and da 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 da. They gotta do all these things, like all these new superheroes that keep coming in. It's an origin story. What I liked about Dredd was they kind of said, "Fuck that, let's get that out of the window. Let's throw that out the window, and let's do a day in the life." Like I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see a movie with like Batman or Spider-Man, just a day in the life kind of thing. No origin, just get straight to the action.
That's why the
Yeah.
recent Spider-Man movie was so
Yeah,
good.
that
'cause
was
they
a Spider-Man
didn't-
movie.
Yeah. They didn't need to give him an origin.
He came out of Civil War and was
Oh,
like,
because we haven't fucking seen Spider-Man.
no, but
50 billion
yeah, but I'm saying
times.
like you said
Yeah.
a day in the life, but like
Yeah.
in Spider-Man
with
Civil
lack
War,
of
he was just like,
origin story.
here's Spider-Man.
I
and then
think
all of a
that's-
sudden
No,
it was
no.
like-
I'm saying a
Yeah.
movie just specifically one character. That's Civil
Yeah.
War. That
No,
Yeah, no, but the
Homecoming,
Spider,
though.
yeah, Homecoming,
It was the
they
first
didn't
Spider-Man
tell you
movie in
again.
the
They
MCU.
just kind of continued again.
No, but I'm saying a day in the life.
Like,
this
just-
movie
just
takes
taking place
in
on
it's
one
just
day.
one
happening
event.
Where it's just like he's
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming takes place
I see.
over a
Nah,
matter of like
I mean,
it's a massive
I
plot.
get your opinion,
yeah. No,
but I'm gonna counter with my opinion. I don't think
Okay.
so.
Yeah. No, and I think that will actually be the trend going forward on a lot of superhero movies or comic book movies are going to be just like throwing you in the deep end of things because it's like they became a superhero. Let's move on, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But you
like
do still get that character that's like the audience surrogate. Was it
the psychic chick, right?
Yeah, the psychic chick, Anderson. She's very much the kind of fish out of water character who's like she is like okay, there is this world or whatever, and we do get a little bit of like voiceover in the beginning from Judge Dredd, played by Carl Urban, who's the geek god. Dude's been in Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Dredd, Thor.
I would call him like a low key geek god. Like
Yeah.
he's just like there,
Oh, yeah? What about
and
that
like
one
you
dude?
don't realize it until like you actually look
Came out in Shazam.
back at him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mark
Levi?
Strong.
No, the one dude who was like the magician. Or
Mark
whatever.
Strong.
Oh, that him? Yeah, he's
He's
the one who bridges.
villain.
He bridges dimensions.
No,
everywhere.
but because
No,
he's in
it's
a
the
lot
guy
of
who
like
was,
pop culture.
The Wizard. He's been in
Yeah, the
like,
Wizard.
everything too.
Oh,
the wizard.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The wizard, because he was
From
in,
Yeah.
Captain
Star-
Marvel.
no,
Captain Marvel?
he was in Captain Marvel.
He,
He was,
yeah,
You're
Shazam.
not wrong.
Who's
Yeah,
he
it
in
is
Captain
Captain
Marvel?
Marvel.
Yeah.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Oh, he was like an alien. He was one of the Skrulls, I think.
Yeah.
The-
and then
the
he-
one
no,
in,
he was
um,
the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy where he's like.
No, but he was
Star-Lord.
also in Guardians of the
Who?
Galaxy.
Oh,
No, but
No,
he's
that's
a-
what I'm saying.
yeah.
He was in that. He was
He's
in
in.
both
He's
of
in
them.
the same
I always know him
character.
from. I always think of Gladiator when I see that dude.
He's been in like a
Oh, yeah,
bunch
there you
of
go.
a bunch of different
Yeah,
superhero
that
movies
guy's
and
awesome.
different things.
Jamon Hansu, I think, is his name. Probably pronouncing it wrong, but
God bless him.
but honestly, like I fucking like really like this movie. Like I was just like when we were starting this podcast and we were trying to think of like what are we gonna be some of the first movies we gotta do. I was like, gotta do Dredd because that's a movie that's like it's just like this. It's short. It's like 93 minutes long.
It
or
was
something.
really quick. Yeah.
It's just like here's like Alan was saying, just chunk slice of life. It's not this great grand scale epic thing. It's like all right, we're in this. It's very Die Hard. We're like they're in this place. They've got to stop something. You get the point of view character. And there is character growth. It's very subtle at the beginning. You know, you've got Dredd, and he's just like, oh, she failed the test. He's like so absolute, like that means she failed. Like Dredd is very much just like a lawful, neutral character. The law is all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. There's no gray areas. Like I'm just gonna execute you if you like break this part of the law. That's the punishment. If she, even though she's a psychic, we need her. She failed. So should I have her? But at the end of the movie, she fails. She says, "I'm the one who failed. Here's my gun." And he's just like, they're like, "Oh, did she pass?" And he's like, "She passed." You know, he does grow as a character over the course of the movie, even though it's very subtle. And that's what I like, that kind of like subtle character development, because it's not like there's not a big scene where Dredd's like, "Hey, rookie," and he like tosses her the badge, and it's just like, "Stay cool up there, you pat." Like he just like tells the boss.
And he needs
like,
to throw her a Coke. That's the problem. A bottle of Coke and be like, "You deserve this one." No, he goes. You did. No, he goes. You deserve this one, kiddo. And then like he pops the bottle and he hands it to her, like the polar
and
bears
it pops up.
Exactly.
It pops
I got the
up.
reference.
Share a Coke.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
everybody goes off happy, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
"Man, this movie made
That
me feel
movie
real
would have
nice."
made it would have been profitable if it would have had the
Product
the
placement?
product placement from Coke.
Yeah, they would have been like, "Well, we're gonna give you fat cash," and they
Yeah.
would have been like, "Thank you."
Yeah, that would have
Dredd
been
too.
great in overseas, you know.
But I think in that sense, yeah. Oh, sorry.
They go and share some McDonald's.
I think in that sense, it's actually kind of like an interesting twist on, like, you know, the regular tropes where you don't get character development on your main character. You get the character development of a story on this rookie.
She has a lot more character
Because-
development than Dredd, for sure.
Oh, Dredd stays the same,
he
but
does,
you
like,
do.
I'm just saying, he does
Yeah, he has
grow
a
a little
subtle-
bit. It's very subtle.
yeah.
But he
Oh
does,
yeah.
and I think that's like the point of the movie is just
Got that
like,
Bruce Wayne with Robin. He's like, "Oh, I'm always mean to you," but at the end, you were a good boy.
He's like, "You're a good soldier."
but
No, but one of my biggest things that I appreciated
Mhm.
about this movie, he never takes the mask off.
exactly,
I fucking love that.
You just see like you don't have like a
Just the
moment where it's
scowl.
like, yeah, because that's Dredd. He's just like the stoic, like
Listen, if it's Sylvester Stallone, though, I want that mask off.
Yeah, he
He's a
does
cutie.
it. He does
He's
it.
a cutie, though. That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
does
But
that
there's
mask off.
that great scene in the beginning when she's like reading his mind. She's like, "There's something deeper," and it's just like, and they're like, "Okay, that's good." We're
No,
good.
no, no. When she reads it, she says, "There's something deeper," and then it flashes in, and it's over. So it's just alone. I know. She's like, "Oh fuck."
Oh no, I went too
Oh,
deep.
that's too much. And he's just like,
She looks at him and he
Scowling.
says, "You're greedy. You're lazy."
"You're mentally irregular. You can't be doing
Hey,
that."
Taco Bell's the only company left in the future. Wesley Snipes, come on.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, what is it? What's that one?
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man's the shit.
Every one of us is expendable. You know what I'm saying?
Expendables 1 through 3. You know what I mean?
Hey, well that just
See you in a few years.
Yeah. No, but yeah, because I feel like, oh my god, what I hated. I love the Power Rangers movie that came out recently.
That's another episode we're gonna do.
You can't be bringing it
No,
up.
no, no.
Ah.
The one thing I'm gonna say is,
Uh-huh.
it bothered me
They
from
didn't
that
have that
movie
sick music.
but they always took their mask off. Like, you get to see the Power Rangers finally
Mhm.
fully suited up.
For
They
like,
fight the putties for like 2 minutes, and then they get in the Zords, and then
and
bam,
the Zords
Yeah.
are
the masks are off.
off.
And I'm like, get that weird shit out of here.
Well, see, the thing is that a lot of superhero movies do this because it's hard to show emotions with the mask, and that's usually like a detraction. That's why like they changed Spider-Man's eyes in the new one to have like be mechanical.
That makes sense, and that I
'Cause
appreciate.
in, like,
That
the
I actually
the
appreciate.
comics and like the old like his eye, they would just draw his eyes different shapes and stuff. You can't really do that very well in film. But this one, like the fact that he's so like the mask doesn't show any emotions is a positive rather
Mhm.
than a detraction. So it really fucking works in this movie. Yeah, it's just great action, like very just straightforward, and I love that it has you question these morals like in horrible like society where just the law is like the only order and like everything else is just like madness. Like it's almost impossible to not be a horrible person. Like even the other judges are just selling out. Anderson is like doing her best to be good, and she knows she's fucked up and she's not gonna pass this, or so she thinks, because she lost her weapon. But she still is doing her best, and she has that whole like dramatic moment where after she shoots the guy, Dredd's like, "Shoot him." She's like, "Well, he's just on the ground," and he's like, "Just do it. It's the law." And she's like, "Okay." And then like she goes and sees his apartment and sees his baby mama and his baby later, and she has this kind of moment, and that's what it's about. It's like finding what's right in a situation where everything seems wrong.
It's like when you go to the stores during Black Friday and everybody's getting trampled on, but you reach out and you get that PS4 that you wanted real cheap. So it makes it all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's like that.
Yeah, like everybody in this movie, by the way, all the actors, they're fucking incredible. Carl Urban is just so stoic, and he killed, like his voice was just wrecked by the end of the movie because he like kept having to do this like gravelly like Nolan Batman-esque kind of like grumble. And Olivia Thirby, she's really good. She's from Juno. She's like the friend in Juno. She's been in a lot of stuff. But think she's really good. And you've got Cersei Lannister.
Can we go to her?
Lena Headey. I think
Yeah.
is her name.
Oh yeah, but can we go to her character?
Yes, yeah.
now?
Let's talk about Mama.
Yeah, so like I found like that story kind of like interesting. Like you kind of feel bad for her coming from that,
she's very
but
sympathetic.
so yeah, so it kind of like that's another thing through her. This movie kind of became kind of like a movie of like, well, anybody could become this bad person.
She was a prostitute who got her face cut by a pimp.
And like going back to anybody under the right consequences or the wrong consequences can become something else.
I think that ties into that whole moral ambiguity thing. Like she's like pretty much almost had no choice but to just be like to survive. She needed to basically be this evil and be this ruthless, and she's just like killing an entire floor of people just to get to the judge. And that's what everybody like fights the system in their own way. Whereas Dredd, she just goes up like complete like law. That's it. You know, you have her just like, I'm gonna go the opposite way and just be kind of chaos and like I'm gonna take control with my evil. And then Anderson's the one in the middle who's like, but what do I really need to do? What's morally correct here? And in this world, it's a hard line to walk. And if you go too far in either direction, you'll either be Dredd or you'll be Mama.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And also, I forget that guy's name, the other actor's name, but the guy who's like Mama's like lieutenant who gets his hand blown off, he's fucking great too.
Yeah, and then we have Donald Gleason.
Oh, Donald Gleason's in this, yeah.
I was like so surprised. I was like,
dude.
Man, this man's a no. Like,
it
was for a second. Oh no, he gets his eyes pushed in.
Oh yeah,
but they don't.
Eyes, and you have the flashback.
Well, does he have fake eyes?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're like robot eyes.
Oh.
That's why they're like so big. They're like robot eyes, and he can like kind of see everything.
Yeah.
Mama, and you have that flashback where you see his Mama like crush his eyes.
Yeah, crushing his eyes.
Wood Harris is K, by the way, is the guy I was talking about before. But yeah.
But no, yeah, like with Donald Gleason, it took me a second to like.
Yeah, I didn't even really realize it until like afterwards, and I saw the credits. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our boy. What's his name? Hux.
Hux, yeah, General Hux, and then Bill Weasley.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah. And he's the son of
the fuck robot from Black Mirror.
I didn't see that episode, but okay.
Great. Him and Agent Carter. She like gets a robot.
Oh yeah. I've heard of it. I need to watch it. But no, yeah, because it was her husband, and then she died and stuff like that. But yeah, it was an interesting group of characters. I mean, like, really good actors, and like who have so since like gone on to like other things, like Game of Thrones, Star Wars.
Because that was like 2012, so I would have been like a year into Game of Thrones, so it was pretty early on. And people were dying left and right in Game of Thrones, so she didn't know she had a steady job in a couple of years. I just really love Carl Urban in this movie. Just like every movie that he's in, he's so different, but he's always just like the hero for the nerds.
He's very. This shows more that he's like a very transformative character actor. Because with Thor Ragnarok, you have him being like that bro character that likes all his stuff. Look at my stuff. Look at my kind of thing. And like with the duel,
visited all the realms.
Yeah,
behold.
Yeah,
my stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a fucking great line.
And then like the nonsensical science man of Star Trek. I'm a Dr. Jim.
God damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a equestrian rider, or like whatever the fuck you might say.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor. I'm not a physician.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
We should bring up. I just came up with another movie that might be underrated that has Carl Urban as Red. He was really good in Red. Red?
Like the movie with like the old people. It's like hey, what if old people were action stars?
No, it's a really freaking good movie.
All right.
I will bring that. We should put that on the list.
I definitely need to watch it because I got a sequel, so it has to have been good.
The sequel is pretty okay.
And it was really
I don't think it would. I mean, it especially since it went under the radar.
Yeah, the budget
it went double platinum in Canada.
Yeah, the budget was probably about, it looks as 30 to 45 million, and it made only 41.5. So it looks like it didn't make its budget back, and that's before you pretty much have to double the budget to when you think about like advertising and all that. So it lost a shit ton of money. I have some theories, but why do you guys think that it did so poorly at the box office?
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing.
It has to have been marketing.
What time did it come out?
2012.
Yeah, but like what around month? Do we know like what movies surrounded it?
No, it didn't have a ton of
What
competition.
was the
it was
astrology
the Saw
between-
movie came out at
behind
the
that?
same time.
What was Mercury in retrograde? Is that why?
Well, no, I'll tell you this.
It came out July.
I bet you a lot of people saw.
Oh no, that was
Sylvester Stallone.
Comic Con. It came out September, so it came out like its only real competition was Saw. But I think honestly, the real reason that it did so poorly is because people were just like they didn't really know what it was. They were like, oh, is this they thought it was like a sequel to like the Sylvester Stallone one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the thing was. It's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
it caused a little bit of damage to his own, because you see the franchise before and you go, well, I've seen Judge Dredd and I gotta think, I already know what it's gonna be about, and so why do I want to go watch it again?
No, I think it was mostly because of marketing, and then the people probably didn't get it because like around that time we're getting the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
There's Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. All those characters are like huge, so people probably thought, oh, everybody. I like to think that there's a lot of cynical people, and when they look at stuff like that, they immediately just go, oh, there's a Judge Dredd movie. Wow, they're just milking it.
Well, yeah,
Fuck it, I'm not gonna watch it.
And then also I think at that point, the whole Sylvester Stallone version of the movie had become kind of like a
that was
a
all
meme.
people knew. That's all
Kinda
people
like
knew was they just
yeah,
knew,
but it's become
I am Dredd. That's all people knew.
And
about
that's
Dredd.
why it became a
That's
meme.
all I knew really about Dredd before I saw this movie.
Yeah, and then that's the point. It became a
never
meme.
saw
So
I
like,
never saw Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that movie was so fucking good. I saw it. No, it was good at its time. Like that's
at
the thing.
its time, yeah.
A lot of
It's
these,
in
a
the
lot of these
80s
movies, you're
movie.
gonna look at it and go, "Oh, they're so cheesy." But when I saw it, I was really young, and at its time, it was such a damn good movie. It's like the original RoboCop.
I do love the original
Well,
RoboCop
RoboCop's
holds
still-
up. Well,
No,
RoboCop
no.
holds
Yeah,
up.
but I'm saying like if you were to put it to let's say a younger generation, not us who've seen it, they're probably gonna say, "Hey, maybe."
I am a younger generation for RoboCop. That came out way before.
And they
was
literally remade it.
But okay, and how did the remake do?
Not that great.
Bad.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying.
because they turned it to PG-13.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, no, it took away the whole point of it. It's like
Yeah.
ultra violence.
Yeah,
It was
and
supposed
that's
to be
why
like
Dredd
a-
is so good too, is because of the ultra violence. It's just like, and that's I think another thing that hurt it. It's just like this movie is really fucking violent, and it like contrasts the violence with all the violence that's going on is especially the scenes that are in slow mo. The imagery is really beautiful,
It's
and, got all this,
yeah.
and the things you're seeing, the images are really horrific, even though they're shot in a very beautiful way. And I think that turned a lot of people off, and it turned a lot of people off that like this was like a hard R movie. Like this was like before Deadpool, it was before Logan. Those are like R movies that are like Logan's pretty violent.
Yeah,
But it's
but
not
I
the
mean,
same- it's
it's
not the
it's
same.
about
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Though.
Yeah.
This is like way beyond.
Yeah,
that. This
that's
is
what I
like a
was gonna say.
hard
Pushing it.
R.
just
like,
for violence.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at least with the other ones that you
Well,
mentioned,
violence,
it has
nudity.
story though. So it kind of like you
like
are-
Deadpool has
Deadpool-
violence,
but
it's joking.
joking.
But it's
And
fun.
then
Logan
Logan
has violence, but it
But-
follows a story with
Yeah,
its
but-
violence.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
those-
just violence for violence sake.
Yeah, the thing
This
about
isn't either though.
Well, but I mean, they're like.
But
it could
it's
be a
just
little-
the
it could
story
be a
didn't
little,
Yeah,
keep
but you
up.
have to also-
I mean, it didn't.
you also
equate,
have to think
you know,
about
the
that,
violence.
like,
I don't
Wolverine.
agree with that. This movie needed to be this violent because
Oh no! It should, but it would have benefited more if with that good violence, it was a more like engaging story.
Like shoot the guy,
You
but
think
don't
that,
like.
wait, are you saying that Dredd didn't have an engaging story?
It
or-
did have an engaging story, but it just wasn't acted. I mean, I feel like it's not. It didn't grasp me as much as
Well,
it should.
no,
I thought it was.
I
a
felt like it
simple
was.
story,
It's simple.
But I think a simple is fine. Like it doesn't. I like complex stories, but simple stories can also be good. And I think that if you have an overly complex story with this one. It was a simple story and it worked for this because it gets you in this world. And it's a very character-driven story more than anything else. Character and like you are in this kind of like strange world, and it's just like I was saying, just a slice of life. It doesn't need to be this crazy overarching thing, and I think it works really to its
Which, in a
benefit.
way, that might have been its problem too, because again, I'm tired of seeing origin movies because I've seen them all my life.
Yeah.
The regular fan, like regular average viewer, might be like, I don't know what's going on. Who is Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
And they're not
again, word of mouth. It might be word of mouth where people go.
Because is Dredd
"Yeah,
like
it
a
was-
super popular comic book that people are gonna pick up?
Yeah,
It's
I
know.
popular in
Yeah.
Britain and the
Yeah.
UK, of
But
course.
no, I'm saying like here, like for an average
But yeah,
Joe to
here-
be like,
Yeah.
because if it's not Spider-Man or it's not Batman or like you know the top tier characters, a lot of the time.
Because our movies always have a lot like trouble making money. That's why so many like movies like we were just talking about the Expendables. The first two were R. They made the third one PG-13 to try and make some more
Are
money.
you fucking kidding me? They
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Wow, that was stupid.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
but they
the
actually
third
I've never
one.
lost a
seen
lot of
any of
money.
them.
They're really bad. They're all really bad.
Oh, the first one's pretty fun.
I still remember the first one came out same day as Scott Pilgrim, and
And
everybody
Scott
went.
Pilgrim
Scott Pilgrim was
bombed, and
fucking
it was
amazing.
one of the best movies.
But
it's the same thing that not a lot of people know what Scott Pilgrim is.
Yeah.
Like
exactly,
outside,
that was
outside of the big thing, but people know who Sylvester Stallone is,
Mhm.
who those
Exactly.
old action
Yeah.
stars are, and so that's going to be a better
Yeah,
sell.
you just put you don't have anyone on the poster. It just says Dredd, and it's like a guy in a mask. You don't know who doesn't have any star power. I mean,
Yeah.
Carl Urban is not really that well known.
Like I said, he's like the underground. He's like that geek
Yeah, well,
god
that's
that's under the radar.
Yeah, that's why Stallone keeps taking
And
his
it's-
mask off in the Stallone movie.
Yeah, because you got to
because
see
yeah,
Stallone.
you need
Like,
the
we
star
need to
power.
see Stallone.
Essentially, the things that we liked about Dredd, average moviegoers don't like.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't
it's-
see his face. You don't know who he
Well, 'cause
is.
here's-
A day in the life.
Yeah, that's
And
where
then
Marvel got
maybe
Iron
the
Man
slow
right.
mo got
Well,
tiring.
you get Iron
Because
Man
you can
suit.
take them
No,
to-
because you get Iron Man suit, but at the same time, you also get Tony Stark's face.
Yeah.
Where you see the like gauge what he sees.
Mhm.
So it's not just gratuitously showing you his face, but you'll see it like on the inside
yeah,
with all the
inside
gauges.
POV.
But you
Yeah.
also get the
But you also
whole
get his
Robert
face.
Downey Jr.
Exactly.
charisma.
And that's how they found. That's how they found
So-
a way to do it right. Where you'll see the suit flying, but then you'll see his face. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not just the mask coming off in the middle of a fight. No, it's his face on the inside,
Yeah.
looking at all the dials and all
Yeah.
this.
Jarvis,
bells
help
and
me
whistles.
out here.
Yeah, and it's so you get the face, you see Tony Stark, and then it goes back to the suit, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. So you get that what they did in Dredd
Yeah.
without having to do it. Now they could have done it here, maybe where the visor goes up and down when he talks.
No, God,
No,
no.
no,
I'm not saying that it could have
but for
been.
regular
Yeah.
Yeah,
movie
no,
hours,
just for regular
obviously.
movies. Because I'm saying without taking the whole
Yeah,
helmet
they
off,
could have dumbed it down and
I
made
mean-
a lot
I
more
mean-
money.
they could have done something.
Exactly.
And I'm glad they didn't.
No,
you know?
I know, but you know what? Like that's the thing, though. Like, I'm not saying that the action had to stop or not. Like they could have had the same action, but sometimes you do need to give a little something to the people if you want to make
True.
that money. And if you don't, I mean, it's cool, but you're never gonna get another sequel. You're never gonna see them make. The thing is, with a lot of these movies, is you want them to succeed decent.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't want them to go over the top or whatever, but you want them to succeed decently because if they don't succeed, you don't get another Dredd. So Logan did well. You're gonna
Well,
get other R movies because
we might-
it'll be a while before you get another movie
We
like
might
that.
be getting another Dredd, not in the same format though. There's been talks about Dredd
TV
Netflix
show?
TV show, and
Yeah.
Carl Urban seems on board. It's going to be called like Dredd Mega City War.
Yeah,
or
but
something
you know,
like that.
you know why they do well because you had Marvel come out and do well on their series on the Netflix, and other TV shows with like violence and a little bit better
I
stuff.
think it's just kind of
And-
aged
and it
over the
does-
years, because it has this reputation
'cause
among
it's the
people
thing,
like
'cause-
us
'cause
who
the
are
thing
like,
is, like,
this is a
okay,
good
look,
movie.
But you get
DC
more engagement
no,
in a TV
well,
show.
no, because what I'm trying to tell you is this:
Not necessarily.
I mean,
a lot of people
connection to
no,
the
'cause what I'm trying
character.
to say is a lot of
I
people
don't know.
when you
Like-
watch like Batman v Superman, when you watch some of those movies, some people get somewhat of a bad taste in their mouth. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying some of the you got to talk about the average consumer, not the people who got nerd culture, because yeah, we're a facet of it, but we're not the ones that make the world go round. Well, if we go watch a movie, even though we watch it 10 times, if the other general public doesn't go watch it, things aren't going to get made. And so the thing is, like some of the DC movies, if you talk to some people and you go, "Hey, are you going to go watch the DC movie?" A lot of the time you hear people go, "I don't know, I might," but then you hear people go, "Are you going to go watch that Marvel movie like Guardians of the Galaxy or something?" People go, "Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna be there. Oh, I'm gonna watch Endgame." And so I'm not saying that they don't watch it, but you hear somewhat of a hesitation. Now, lately things have been changing. I'm not saying that it's always been like that, but lately things have been changing. You've got now like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, now the new Shazam. Like they're starting to get things into their belt where people are starting to get that confidence again to go, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll go watch a DC movie." Now you got James Gunn doing the new Suicide Squad, right? So the more you
Would it
build
be
good,
some kind of the Suicide Squad?
yeah, exactly. But the more good faith you build with that, the more of a chance that another person's going to take a chance on a movie. The studio's going to go, "Yeah, we'll make that." Deadpool, a funny rated R superhero movie. Yeah, they're going to make more.
Well, I do think that Marvel's definitely doing that too, because Marvel for a while like was afraid to take a
Oh,
chance
yeah,
on
but-
these weird
yeah, oh, yeah.
directors. But like, and like there was all
Taika
the,
Waititi's hitting it out of the
Yeah.
park. James Gunn's hitting it out of the
That's
park.
the thing, like,
They're doing
James
it.
Gunn, Taika Waititi, like all these guys are like kind of now getting a lot more
Yeah.
free reign. Whereas before, like there was all that drama where Edgar Wright basically had to leave Ant-Man because they
Yeah,
weren't giving him.
and but that's what I'm saying. As long as a movie can make success in the terms that are like they're doing it, then they'll give it more of a chance to make a second one, a third one. And I'm not saying the same movie, but in that vein of things. If Judge Dredd did well, there could have been another style of Judge Dredd that came out. And I'm talking about sooner in that time frame instead of, well, we're going to wait another 5-6 years before we try again, or 10 years, or we're going to wait till that taste washes
Well,
out of
here's
people's
the
mouths.
Oh, real quick. I agree
Yeah.
with you on all that. I think the biggest issue is it just came out too soon.
Yeah, it was
Because it was, what is it,
ahead of
2012?
2012.
It was
Yeah.
ahead of its time.
Yeah, if that movie came out nowadays, so people would have watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people would have went out of the way.
Well, it's-
we just got Avengers that year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
everybody's like Avenger
That was the
Mania.
Avengers, and
That
that was
was
the
a
end of the
big thing.
Nolan trilogy. So that was like kind of like the end of the kind of getting us ready for grittier superheroes.
Mhm.
The Nolan trilogy. I also will say, so we talk about like how like getting people ready and stuff. Like one I always think of is Blade Runner. Blade Runner like changed science fiction. It made it like this gritty like neo noir thing that like everybody's doing this cyberpunk fiction now that is just cribbed from Blade Runner. You see it everywhere. And Blade Runner, though, it lost a shit ton of money at the box office. They eventually made the sequel that came out like 35 years later or something like that. And that failed at the box office too. It's because both the Blade Runner movies were these like singular visions that didn't have like okay, what's gonna make money? They were just like, no, we're gonna make a movie that's good. And I would rather see like a movie that gets underrated or fails or whatever, and you don't see a sequel, than having a movie that's.
And then also it would put us out of a job.
Yeah.
They're not
Well,
underrated.
no, I get that, and it's cool. But what I'm saying is like you also want them to have. I'm not saying be $1 billion box office, but you want to see some kind of success because it will be 35 years before.
I want to see a good movie succeed.
Yeah, no,
what I want to see. I want to see Dredd succeed.
No, and I get it, But what I'm saying is like if they don't, what I was trying to say is if they do well, you'll get another Dredd, like another type of Dredd. If they don't do somewhat well, then you're not. Now, I get it. You don't want to change anything, but I'm not saying compromise the movie in a sense of changing its dynamic, changing what it says, changing its feeling. It's more like, is there a way to be able to attract maybe a little bit more attention without giving away too much?
No, but that's we gotta have a 5-quadrant movie. What are we doing?
No, I think it comes down to the sense that we're always gonna have this happen of underrated movies, and it sucks. And it's like for every movie that is made perfect and gets recognition, there's gonna be 5 different that should also get recognition. I think it's just the whole way of how movies go and how entertainment goes is like, there's always gonna be that one got out and one became this hit, while 5 more are left in the dust, even though they shouldn't have been for the same reasons. I think it's just that luck of the draw kind of situation.
Well, and I think like a lot of times if you do try and compromise and do that, it doesn't always work. Look at Justice League. That was a movie that were like, okay, Zack Snyder had this vision and it might have been good or it might have been bad. I know there's people like #release the Snyder Cut, but a lot of stuff did just come out about like his original plans that would have, and it sounded more interesting. It's not, there's no Snyder Cut because he didn't ever shoot this movie, but like reshot it all with like Joss Whedon and try and like be like more like family friendly, more, it's gonna be more appealing to people. And that movie like bombed. That movie lost money. That movie made less money than any of the other DC movies.
Yeah.
Even Suicide Squad made more money than that.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the story for us is that filmmakers make the movie that you want, and even though it doesn't make you rich, it'll at least like for us like
just appreciate the art. You'll have some appreciation somewhere.
Yeah, make your movie, and I'd say don't like, oh, I'll put this into that, this group will like it or it'll make some money. Like, just make it.
Yeah, you're gonna find balance. You're gonna find, obviously what I like is different from what you like, and where you feel that someone put into it, I feel that they put into it fine. But I mean, it's always going to be a subjective thing. That's why you have people talking in podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, do you guys see the reputation of this movie becoming? Because I feel like you talk to people, not a lot of people who've seen it, but everyone who has seen it loves it. I've never met anybody who said, "Oh, I didn't like that Dredd."
Yeah, I think it's like once people like it gets on their radar, people tend to like it. I think especially if it's like without any pressure of like, it's just like, oh, this movie's popped up on my queue, let me see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie that I think, as more people see it and, people hear about it or they listen to a podcast about it, they'll be like, oh, I should watch that. Everybody who's told me it's really good. Or like, a lot of people are like, oh, like, I didn't like the Stallone one, but let me check this one out, So I think it's getting more and more popular. I think especially if that Netflix series happens, a lot of people are going to see, oh, what's this Netflix thing? Oh, let me go check out this movie that it's based on, and I think it's going to really turn around. Like, also what we're talking about, like, with R-rated superhero movies kind of becoming more of the norm and more popular now, there's going to be people who are willing to revisit it.
And I think it would actually be beneficial as a Netflix show. I mean, especially if they keep the same format of a day in the life of kind of situation of it. It could basically be a comic book police procedure.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool, innovative, like, concept. And it would actually be, like, especially on a platform of Netflix that's always looking for that kind of different style.
Yeah.
It would be definitely a good fit for it.
But I think that about does it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, whatever podcast app you're listening on. we'd really appreciate it. We've got new episodes coming out every 2 weeks for you guys, so give us that rating and review too. Especially if you can give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, that really helps a lot. Has to do with all these different algorithms and stuff. I can say that word. Once again, guys, we are Undercast Company. We're made up of Ariel Ortiz from Nerd Incorporated.
Thanks for being amazing.
We've got Fred and Alan Torres from District 6.
Take it easy, everybody.
Yep. I'm Derek McDuff. You guys can find my stuff on websites like Watch Mojo, or check out I do a Marvel podcast as well that we've all been on, or find any of us on Instagram. And we'll be back with another podcast soon, so stay tuned.